First things first. If you're familiar with this introduction, feel free to skip ahead until the trigger warning for our racist, hate-filled image of the day appears on screen. Otherwise, let me tell you. In each of these videos, I give away a t-shirt from my website, UnionOfTruth.org. That t-shirt goes to whichever comment in the comment section scores the highest on my double-secret proprietary rating scale, and they'll get to pick whichever design they want from the website. Mind you, I give away a t-shirt if the video gets at least 5,000 views and 50 unique comments by the time I start making my next video. I intend to make these videos 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Official rules are posted just below the like and subscribe buttons. Now, unless you're already fully aware of the following 9 facts, or you have a completely open mind and seek to expand your worldview, these videos might not be for you. Fact number 1. All of our society's root-level structural institutions are controlled by psychopathic parasites who intend to utterly subjugate us. And that's putting it mildly. Fact number 2. No one is coming to save us from them. If we don't take matters into our own hands, we will be utterly subjugated. Fact number 3. We are quickly running out of time to prevent such an outcome. Fact number 4. In order to prevent our subjugation, we need a viable plan of action. Fact number 5. There is no quick fix. A viable plan will need to be very detailed and will require that people must go outside of their comfort zone in order to comprehend it. Fact number 6. As an aspect of its viability, the plan must not require that everyone fully comprehends it in order to follow it. Fact number 7. Since the plan must not require that everyone fully comprehends it in order to follow it, leaders will be needed to properly inform and correctly guide fellow citizens who won't put forth the effort to fully comprehend the plan. Fact number 8. Leaders will need to fully comprehend the plan. Fact number 9. Exemplary leaders are committed to empowering those whom they lead. Exemplary leaders lead by example. And for those of you who are still with me, here's a 10th fact. This book contains a viable plan. The purpose of these videos is to disseminate the information provided in this book and to start an ongoing dialogue about all things related to the plan. You can download a free copy of this book in PDF format from UnionOfTruth.org without signing up for anything or filling anything out. As a matter of fact, I'm hoping you'll take me up on my simple 10-page challenge. It works like this. Read the first 10 pages of the book and fully investigate all of the links that are offered in order to discover the following. 1. Am I functioning from a valid conceptual foundation? 2. Have I done enough legitimate research to qualify as someone whose opinion is worthy of consideration? 3. Does the book actually provide a viable and fully detailed plan to thwart the science of fiction? Quite simple, and certainly not too much to ask of any red-blooded American patriot. One last thing. Those of you who are wondering, who is this guy? Should be sure to check out my video entitled, Who is this guy? Please, let us know exactly what you found most hateful and oppressive about that fiendish image. Your feedback is vital to our ongoing mission of greater understanding. All right, in this episode, we're going to go over pages 133 through 138. But first, allow me to remind everyone that, as mentioned on pages 34 and 35, the author's purposely condescending tone is not directed at you. It's directed at those who will mock you when you try to share this information with them. The Rally Fund will be incorporated as a trust, United Sovereigns Absolution, that will be the sole owner and lawful claimant of all rights relating to the responsibility brand name and products, and of all rights relating to any and all aspects and functions of the Rally that can possibly be protected. Those who invest in the Rally Fund will be its beneficiaries. Though the readers of this book will have to alert them of the fact, the following people will be offered the combined trusteeship of the fund, which will also have the final word on all procedural and otherwise irreconcilable Rally-related disputes. If you aren't familiar with anyone listed below, click on their name for an introduction. Heather McDonald, Cornell West, Richard Grove, Eric Thomas, Camille Paglia, Scott Ott, Chris Hedges, Rocio Munoz, Dan Bongino, Tom Woods, Candace Owens, Charlie LeDuff, Mark Stein, Richard Epstein, Chris Ann Hall, Jan Jekielek, Dave Rubin, Camilla Chavez, Cheryl Atkinson, Larry Elder, Catherine Burbelsing, Josh Del Sol, Rosa Quarry, Jason Riley, Erin Brockovich, Paul Craig Roberts, Chris Chappell, Victor Davis Hanson, Shiva Ayadarai, Shelby Steele, Douglas Murray, Glenn Lowry, Kira Davis, Steve Green, John McWhorter, Michael Malice, John Lovell, Chloe Valdery, Andrew Clavin, Tom Fitton, Carol M. Swain, Ayan Hersey Ali, Josephine Matthias, John Stewart, James Corbett, Sarah Carter, Tammy Bruce, Bridget Gabriel, Ben Swan, Jordan Peterson, John Solomon, James O'Keefe, John Stossel, James Lindsay, Les Brown, Tucker Carlson, RFK Jr., Bill Whittle, Scott Adams, Ben Shapiro. Through an initial advertising campaign that will be spread locally and online by the families and friends of volunteers and all of their investors, the general public will quickly begin tuning in and becoming completely captivated. Businesses that sponsor volunteers will be officially authorized by said trust to post and distribute rally-themed announcements of exactly how they've contributed, so that from then on, the public will know exactly where to shop. And since they will not be asked to make donations to the rally, the general public will be emotionally compelled to eagerly seek out the responsibility brand as a way of supporting the cause whenever they are in the market for the types of goods being sold. As the brand's market share increases, it will happen quickly, a massive paid advertising campaign through select forms of media will begin. By the time the men are deployed to Washington, D.C., there will hardly be anyone on the planet who is unaware of the rally and its purpose. And you can rest assured that people of all ages worldwide will be wearing graphic t-shirts, shorts, hats, and lounge pants with product names and or the name of a division, squadron, platoon, company, or battalion on it, all of which will be sold exclusively through the official website of the rally to minimize the sale of knockoffs. And do you think that a fair portion of the highly lucrative sneaker market would not be ripe for the taking and keeping for generations to come if a few well-designed, extremely affordable, super sturdy, American-made styles that were being worn on TV and strategically promoted by men in the away group were made widely available to those school children and the rest of the public? Do you think that if a bunch of well-known patriotic tough guys and professional or former professional athletes were to volunteer to be involved in the rally's on-air operations, while also roughing it regarding their accommodations, the rally's appeal wouldn't be that much greater. And imagine what the effect on sales would be if it were common knowledge that such heroic figures were wearing those snazzy sneakers and other official merchandise without getting any royalties just for doing so. Wow. I'll even say that backwards. Wow. Note that only men will be involved in any of the aspects of filming the away group. 4M. After the home and away groups have each chosen, on camera of course, volunteers from their respective group to represent them in each local, state, and national government office that will be up for grabs in the November election, the following will occur on September 3rd, 2024. Each home and away candidate who is vying for the same position will have a debate in person near their home location. The debates will be broadcast live in every media outlet possible in addition to the official website of the rally, and they will be uploaded immediately to YouTube. Then, on September 7th, regardless of their age, each volunteer from each group will vote for their respective candidates of choice. The candidate who receives the greatest total number of votes for that position will get the nomination. The entire process in each location will be videotaped and uploaded to the official website of the rally and to YouTube. The platform that they will all be running on is described in the final section of this book. So in other words, the only criteria any of the volunteers should use to decide upon the candidate they prefer is that they believe a particular candidate will be more effective than their opponent in accomplishing the tasks which make up the platform. On September 11th, during simultaneous live broadcasts at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, from the foot of each state capitol and the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., each of the candidates will sign a lawfully binding contract which states the following. Quote, "In the event that I am elected, but it is widely believed that I am not following through with my commitment to immediately do all that is lawfully and realistically possible from that post to bring all aspects of the platform into effect, a 3/4 majority vote by my constituents who volunteered for the rally, which calls for me to step down from my post, will cause me to do so immediately." Unquote. All of the volunteers from both groups will then announce their full support for those candidates, and they will begin doing all they can to help ensure their election. The infrastructure that has already been put in place for the support of the rally is what will be used to ensure that each person gets elected to the office they have chosen to serve. In mid-September, certain of the shows will begin being broadcast with a focus on the candidates and their particular messages. And the advertising campaign for the rally will begin to include messages about and from the volunteers who are candidates for office. From then on, the ads will focus more and more on the election and the importance of making sure everyone is registered to vote. A listing of candidates by state and the localities within each state will be presented on the official website of the rally, and each candidate's name will be a link that will take voters to videos of their debate and any earlier speeches they may have made, and of them being interviewed about numerous important issues. Included in those web pages will be a summary of their duties during the rally and any other pertinent information they may wish to include. While all of the steps required to enable each of the candidates to become a valid write-in candidate will be taken in a timely fashion, not one attempt will be made to get any candidate's name on the official ballot. On Election Day, as many members of the home group and as many other supporters of the rally as possible will work in the voting locations as outlined below. Certain volunteers will be videotaping the scene. Others will be handing out a pre-printed sticker sheet and a photocopy of a template that has every governmental position that voters can vote for in the election printed on it. There will be a blank space next to each such position, wherein voters will be able to quickly and easily print the name of the candidate who they will have ultimately voted for. Previous to the vote, through every lawful means possible, all voters will have been instructed to vote for the rally's write-in candidates by simply pasting those candidates' names directly on the ballot in the appropriate spot or spots in every voting location that such action is not prohibited. Every sticker sheet will have each candidate's properly spelled name on it with their future job title printed next to it, and a colored ring around them both to prevent any mistakes, so that interested voters can simply place the sticker with their preferred candidate's name on it in the proper area of a paper ballot. The glue on that sticker will not allow it to be removed from the ballot without clearly damaging the ballot. Previous to the actual vote, and again on Election Day, voters will be constantly reminded of the following. 1. All voting locations will have numerous people on hand who are each a notary public. Each notary public will be available, free of charge, to certify with their official seal and signature that they witnessed the voter making the exact selections for write-in candidates that is shown on their completed template. 2. To walk directly to a designated volunteer who has a video camera as soon as they leave the voting booth, regardless of the type of voting machine they used, so they can hold up their completed template with the notary public seal and signature on it while stating their full name. They need not necessarily show their exact selections. Can enough of you figure out the rest of the details needed to ensure proper function and procedure for the home group and everything else that has been mentioned regarding the election? The information I've provided has fulfilled the related terms of the bet that prompted me to write this book. So I'll leave it up to you to leave an in-depth analysis up to someone else who will mislead you for their own gain. Oh, did I forget to mention that I've just offered up an opportunity to line the pockets of those who would like to prove that they're members of the second category of the 3 types of people that exist in this world? You just read the first part of the detailed, easy-to-follow instructions on how to personally, lawfully earn more than $250,000 completely tax-free. Such payment is explained a little later on in this book. Such payment has nothing to do with any proceeds from the rally fund. Had enough of our flag-waving rump-riving yet? 5. One last thing before I introduce the actual concepts that will enable your ongoing freedom. A nationwide educational campaign regarding the proper application of the information outlined below must also go into effect immediately in all localities and through all possible institutions and forms of media, including the Internet. This must be done in order to prepare everyone for the responsibilities they will each have if the following concepts ever go into effect. Not a single one of you is currently prepared to properly utilize such power, and the widespread chaos that will result from its misuse will cause as many problems for you as any scheme we have ever cooked up. Those of you who have talent and imagination must create simple, effective methods of transmitting the ideas below to the masses of mental vagrants in your midst who will not otherwise do the work required of them. The majority of the population, whose gross stupidity is a very real threat to your freedom, will otherwise inevitably screw everything up because they are improperly educated, and thus uninterested in the far-reaching consequences of their actions. As always, they will act irrationally and will be expecting someone else to clean up their mess, while they indulge themselves in mindless entertainment and complain to each other about the cost of the coming cleanup efforts, oblivious that finally there will be no such effort, and that the cost will be their brutal enslavement. If those of you with talent and imagination do not step up to the plate here, your lives will be completely ruined by the ignorant hordes that are in desperate need of your skillful guidance. You must first lead them to the understanding of the concepts of personal responsibility and community involvement. You must then lead them to the further awareness of how only an understanding of those concepts enables the ability to understand and properly act upon the concepts contained within each of the subsections below. You must not mistake actions which are needed for your own redemption as an unfair sacrifice being made merely for the benefit of the disinterested masses. You must understand that the only alternative to your doing what I have just explained is your own absolute enslavement. Call it unfair if you'd like, but you need their help just as badly as they need yours. There is no alternative, and the clock is ticking. Below are the basic explanations of the concepts that must be fully understood, continually acted upon, and in certain cases enacted into law by way of constitutional amendments. Differences of opinion regarding the need for a particular concept to be enacted into law must not be allowed to grow into factions that will prevent the ultimate success of the rally. Debate them honestly, respectfully, and in depth while participating in the rally. Every available method will be used to keep you misinformed, divided, and impotent. But make no mistake about it, regardless of what anyone in government or the private sector tells you to the contrary, if any of the following concepts are not widely and properly acted upon, you and your offspring will eventually be fully enslaved. This means that you must reread every line of every subsection below until you fully understand the reasoning behind each concept presented and are thus able to clearly recognize their far-reaching consequences and the absolutely vital need for them to be implemented. Well, that's it for today. Let's meet back here tomorrow. Till then, take good care of yourself and remember, objectivity, logic, fidelity, because absurdity knows no bounds.